Imagine you wake up in complete darkness. No electricity, no house, no doors, no hospitals. No one is coming to save you. Out there, you hear bones snapping under something's feet, and you don't know if it's a wolf, a hyena, a leopard, or another human who's hungrier than you. Before humans feared ghosts, curses, monsters, gods, or the end of the world, they feared a sound. A branch snapping in the dark, a low growl outside the firelight, a baby crying when everyone else was trying to stay silent, a shadow moving between the trees. Because for most of human history, fear was not something you watched in a movie. Fear had teeth. Fear had claws. Fear could smell you. And if you were an ancient human, fear was not just an emotion, it was a survival system. It told you when to run, when to hide, when to gather close, when to listen, and when to keep the fire alive no matter how tired you were. But here is the strange part. The thing ancient humans feared most may not have been one animal, not the cave lion, not the hyena, not the wolf, not even death itself. The deepest fear may have been something much harder to see, being alone in a world that wanted you dead. To understand that, we need to go back before cities, before kings, before written language, before houses with locks, before walls, before calendars, before anyone could say, tomorrow will be safe. Imagine standing on the edge of a prehistoric landscape. The air is colder than you expect. The ground is uneven. There are no roads, no lights, no police, no medicine. No guarantee that the people beside you will still be alive by morning. Your group is small, maybe 20 people, maybe 30. Everyone matters. The old woman who remembers where water is, the hunter who knows animal tracks, the child who will one day carry the group forward, the mother nursing an infant, the person who can chip stone into a sharp edge. Lose one of them, and the whole group becomes weaker. Now the sun starts to fall, and everything changes. During the day, ancient humans could read the world. Footprints in mud, bird calls, smoke in the distance, broken grass, fresh dung, the movement of herds, the smell of water, the warning silence before a predator appears. But at night, the world belonged to other creatures. Many large carnivores were perfectly adapted to darkness. Ancient humans were not helpless, but they were vulnerable. Archaeological evidence shows that Pleistocene humans and other hominins lived in landscapes shared with dangerous carnivores, including hyenas, wolves, big cats, and bears. Some fossil bones even show carnivore modification, meaning humans were not always hunters at the top of the food chain. Sometimes they were targets. So the first great fear was simple. The dark was not empty. It was occupied. This is why fire changed everything. Fire was warmth, light, protection, and a gathering point. It pushed back the night. It made predators hesitate. It turned a scattered group into a circle. It transformed darkness from a complete enemy into a border humans could defend. Recent archaeological research has continued to push back the evidence for deliberate fire-making by early humans, showing how central fire became to survival, protection, cooking, and social life. But fire also created a new fear. What if it went out? Imagine that. You are lying under animal skins. The wind is cutting through the camp. The children are asleep. The hunters are exhausted. Someone is supposed to feed the fire, but their eyes keep closing. Beyond the orange glow, there is nothing. Then the flame shrinks. The shadows move closer. The sounds outside get louder. For us, a dying fire is inconvenience. For them, it could be a death sentence. But predators were only part of the terror. Ancient humans also feared hunger. Not hunger like skipping lunch. Hunger that slowly changes the way people look at each other. Hunger that makes a strong hunter weak. Hunger that makes a mother's milk dry up. Hunger that turns a familiar landscape into a trap. Every animal has a season. Every plant has a window. Every migration can fail. Rain can disappear. Herds can move somewhere else. A river can freeze. A storm can ruin stored food. A wound can stop one hunter from walking, and suddenly the group loses one of its best chances at meat. Modern humans often imagine prehistoric life as one endless hunt. But ancient humans spent much of their lives managing uncertainty. Where is the food? Where is the water? Can we cross before the weather turns? Will the herd come back? Is that plant safe? Did the last group already strip this place clean? Hunger was terrifying because it did not attack all at once. It waited. It thinned the group. It made people desperate. It made every decision heavier. Then came another fear: injury. A twisted ankle today could kill you next week. A deep cut could become infection. A broken bone could turn a useful member of the group into someone who needed protection, food, and time. And yet, archaeological evidence also shows ancient humans cared for one another. Survival was not only about strength, it was about cooperation. Groups that abandoned every weak member would have lost memory, skill, trust, and social stability. Fear did not just create panic, it created community. Because alone, a human is fragile. Together, humans become dangerous. That may be why one of the oldest fears was not just, "I will die." It was, "I will be separated." Imagine a child wandering too far from camp. The grass is high. The adults are distracted. One moment, the child sees smoke from the fire. The next moment, only trees. No map, no whistle, no way to text for help. Just a small voice calling out in a huge world. For ancient humans, separation could mean death. A person alone could not easily defend a camp, find food, treat wounds, protect themselves at night, or survive a major storm. The group was safety. The group was memory. The group was identity. To be cast out, lost, abandoned, or left behind may have been one of the most terrifying possibilities of all. But there was another fear growing inside the human mind, a fear no animal had in quite the same way: the fear of death. Not just dying, but wondering what death meant. At some point, humans began treating the dead differently. They did not always leave bodies where they fell. They buried them. They placed them carefully. Sometimes they used red ochre. Sometimes grave goods appeared. Sometimes the body was arranged in ways that suggest ritual, meaning, memory, or belief. Archaeologists are careful not to overstate exactly what prehistoric people believed. But burial practices and symbolic materials such as ochre show that many ancient communities treated death as something socially and spiritually important, not merely biological disposal. That tells us something powerful. Ancient humans were not only afraid of being eaten, they were afraid of disappearance. What happens when the body stops moving? Where does the person go? Can the dead still see us? Do they need something? Are they angry? Will they return? Is death an ending or a doorway? We cannot enter their minds completely, but the archaeological record shows that death became surrounded by behavior, attention, and symbolism. And once humans could imagine the dead still mattering, fear became deeper than survival. A lion can kill you, but the unknown can follow you forever. This may be where the first ghosts were born, not as stories told for entertainment, but as attempts to explain grief, dreams, memory, and the strange feeling that the dead are not fully gone. Think about dreams. An ancient human loses a brother. Days later, they see him in sleep. He speaks. He walks. He appears alive. Then morning comes, and the body is still buried. How would that feel to a mind without neuroscience? Maybe the dead travel. Maybe they visit. Maybe they warn. Maybe they demand. Maybe they are watching. This kind of fear is different from fear of predators. Predators live outside the fire. The dead live inside memory, and memory is harder to escape. But ancient humans may have feared something even more immediate than spirits: other humans. This is uncomfortable, but it matters. A stranger in the distance could mean trade or danger. A new group could bring mates, tools, stories, and alliances. Or they could bring violence, disease, theft, and competition. If your group finds a rich hunting ground, another group may want it. If water is scarce, conflict becomes more likely. If food is low, trust becomes fragile. Ancient people were capable of care, art, cooperation, and symbolic thought. They were also capable of violence. Human beings are terrifying because they do not just attack from instinct. They plan. They remember. They deceive. They take revenge. A predator might stalk you because it is hungry. A human might stalk you because of something that happened last season. So ancient fear had many layers. Fear of the animal outside the camp. Fear of hunger inside the body, fear of injury in a world without hospitals, fear of storms, cold, and fire going out, fear of being lost, fear of strangers, fear of the dead, fear of the unknown. But maybe the biggest fear was the combination of all of them. Ancient humans feared losing control in a world they could not fully explain. That is what made life so intense. Every sound could mean something. Every silence could mean something. A flock of birds rising suddenly, a dog-like shape on a ridge, a missing child, a strange smell from the river, a fever that would not break, a dream about a dead mother, a cave that seemed safe yesterday but had fresh claw marks today. To survive, humans became meaning makers. They did not just react to danger, they interpreted it. They asked, what caused this? What does it mean? What should we do? This is where fear helped build the human mind. Fear made humans better trackers, better listeners, better storytellers, better planners, better teachers. A person who survived a leopard attack could tell the group what signs to watch for. A grandmother who remembered a famine could guide people away from repeating mistakes. A hunter who noticed vultures circling could lead others to meat. A child who learned which sounds meant danger could live long enough to teach the next child. Fear became knowledge. Knowledge became story. Story became culture. And culture became survival. This is why ancient fear was not weakness, it was technology. Before writing, fear stored information in the body. Before science, fear pushed humans to observe patterns. Before law, fear taught groups to protect each other. Before religion, fear forced humans to ask what death meant. Before cities, fear gathered people around fire. Look again at that ancient camp. The night is cold. The fire is low. Someone wakes and adds wood. A child turns in their sleep. A hunter stares into the darkness. An old woman listens. Far away, something calls. No one laughs. No one says, it's probably nothing, because in that world, nothing was never nothing. A sound could be weather. A sound could be prey. A sound could be a predator. A sound could be another human. A sound could be the beginning of a story that ends with someone missing. So what did ancient humans fear the most? Not one monster, not one animal, not one spirit. They feared the moment when the thin circle of safety broke, when the fire died, when the group scattered, when the food vanished, when the dead would not stay quiet in the mind, when the dark stopped being background and became movement. But here is the twist. Everything ancient humans feared also helped create what we became. Fear taught us to build shelters. Fear taught us to control fire. Fear taught us to bury the dead. Fear taught us to watch the sky. Fear taught us to stay together. Fear taught us to imagine what we could not see. And maybe that is why fear still feels so ancient inside us. Why darkness still changes a room. Why footsteps behind you still make your chest tighten. Why being excluded still hurts. Why a strange noise at night can make a modern person freeze, even inside a locked house under electric light with a phone in their hand. Because your brain was not built for comfort first, it was built for survival. Somewhere deep inside you, there is still a person sitting beside a fire, listening to the dark. And that person is not wrong to be afraid. They are the reason you are here.
Đông sẽ thấy vùng đất rộng lớn nằm dưới quyền kiểm soát của đế quốc La Mã.